Hello and welcome to GameGuru MAX live broadcast number 89. And before we get started, just want to make sure that everyone can hear the broadcast. So there is a chat you cannot see. Just going to make sure. Can everybody hear the broadcast? The sound of the broadcaster's voice. I'll happily wait. And welcome to Maciek. He will be helping answer questions in today's live chat. Everyone can hear the broadcast. That is great. Wonderful. So welcome. Just to let you know, in the background, we are working on optimizations and improvements to GameGuru MAX. So keep checking out our social feeds and there will be announcements for updates as they are released. As usual, we're going to show you a demo. So let's launch the software. Again, this is a demo that's been contributed by a third-party community member. It's called The Mystery of Z Island, not the original title. And we'll click play game and we'll play a little bit of this demo. Let's look at the about screen. Soldiers have turned to zombies on a remote military base. You must activate the radio tower and call in a helicopter, but beware, the base is swarming with the undead. This demo was made in 18 hours and cleverly uses game elements and visual logic. Let's go. The reason I'm showing you as play game, it's this because this is a 2-level game. There's actually 2 levels in this game demo. So let's crack on and play. Shotgun, pistol, and we have some text. I better make my way over to that old watchtower. What old watch? Oh, there it is. So let's go to this watchtower. Oh, who's this guy? Soldier. If you follow the dirt paths, you can find most areas on the island. So, good advice, dirt path. Heading off in that direction, but I just want to see what's at the top of this tower. Might be some goodies. Ah, a key. Take the key. Nice. Oh, there you go, another text. Pick up the key for the radio tower control box. I presume that big glowing tower over there is indeed the radio tower. So let's go ahead for that. Yeah, so let's follow this path. There seems to be a light in the distance. Could be the radio tower. I agree. Zombie. Sometimes it's best to just avoid or run from zombies. That's what I'm going to do. Aha, I think that's the control box with the crow sitting on it. That's a radio tower, nice big tower. The key that we just picked up should, yeah, open the door and be activated. There should be a key for the military base in the huts nearby. Okay. Zombie! Do we have the ammo for it? Yes. Good stuff. Okay, where are these? There you go. Those look like the huts. Let's go for those. A fastish zombie. We have a zombie there. That's a slow one. Nope, nothing in that one. Let's see if we can take this guy out first. Don't like him racing up behind me. Another hut here. This time, got a nice key. I'll have that. I know then. What was the advice? Okay, follow the dirt paths. There you go, let's follow it this way. Avoid zombies. Happy to do so. Something up ahead. Yeah, this looks busy. Looks like a bit of a base. There's a soldier. Keeping guard as those. Soldier, you're gonna need some more ammo. There is a weapon cache in this side of the island. Useful to know. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Sirens. We have sirens, people. And zombies. And more zombies. The sirens are attracting the zombies. I need to be in that watchtower. I presume it's that one there with the glowy red light on it. So we'll head for that. Zombies everywhere. Zombies there. I need to get past you, dude. What have we got? Sounds are attracting all the zombies! Zombie. Okay, got to the top. We collected that key earlier. Here we go. Right, level 1 complete. Not seen this before in a broadcast, but now we're loading level 2. Some more weapons. And looks like a helicopter's landed. Quickly, get to the chopper! Which is what we're going to do with... What shall we have as a weapon? That one. Just in case. I said just in case. You did it more quicker than I thought. Okay, getting to the chopper.
Hey, you.
I think I need to go. Sorry, people. Gotta go. No, I don't need to be eaten. Get to the chopper. Chopper. Yeah. And there's the chopper taking off. Demo completed. Continue. It's all of these are small demos. They're not full games. They're just demonstrating what you can do. But it's great to see some of our demos having 2 levels. So I'm just going to go back to the software. And as you saw, this is the first time I've done it. But when you select a demo, if you select play game, you play the whole thing. The title screens, the about screens, the multiple levels, and then the game win or the game lose screens. If you clicked edit game, you go to the storyboard where you can actually play individual levels. So I enjoyed that. I am looking forward to seeing more third-party demo games being created and submitted so we can showcase them in the future. And that's the first part of our broadcast. The second part will be a questions and answers session. So hopefully you might have a few questions for us, and my teammate has been answering questions already, perhaps even several team members, depends who showed up. So hopefully you got a few answers. I'm just going to drag across the chat. Hopefully you can see that now. And I'm going to ask Marcek if there are any questions that could not be answered, and I'll be happy to answer them in this second part of the broadcast. So please just post them, or rather cut and paste them from before. Happy to answer. But until I see something like that, let's attempt to answer the questions that pop in from now on. And the bottom one is, looks good. How do we access the Visual Logic Editor screen you showed us several weeks back? You need to do a few things. Go into the editor settings dialog, go to developer mode, and you'll see there's actually a tick box for switching on the AI features. Once you've ticked that, then when you go into your test game, you'll actually see at the bottom a component that when you open gives you a button called Behavior Editor. Click that and you'll get access to all of the internal behavioral logic system. We've put it there because it is a developer mode feature rather than a standard user feature. Coming in thick and fast, thank you very much, Marchek. I'll start at the top with the orange. These, as I said, are questions that haven't been answered yet, so we are very happy to answer them for you. What is the time frame for release of RPG elements such as inventory, save game, persistence? Great question. We'll get back to you on that when we have a fixed time frame and a date for you. Next question. Will assets from Gigi be compatible with Max? For the most part, yes. The best way to find out is to manually copy the assets over and see how your mileage varies with GameGuru MAX. It's not 100% forwards compatible, but we've had a lot of success stories about media that's come from Classic and been manually copied into the Max folder structure, and they were able to use those assets just fine with no problems whatsoever. Another question. Did you plan to fix the bug that you can pick up and activate things through walls? Yep, that bug has been fixed. Here's a question from before. When will you be able to attach your own custom characters to AI? My gelatinous cube beholder flying eye don't move, they sit doing nothing, no way to have them do anything at all, so help! Question mark. Yeah, you can attach any script you want to any object you want, whether that object is a character or not. You have controls, whether you want to code directly in Lua or whether you want to use the behavior editor, as I hinted at before. You can actually make control of those objects. You do have to have some skills in and around, you know, knowing what the commands are and how to use them. But yeah, that is available to you right now. Let's see if we can give you some additional advice through, say, the GameGuru forums, just to get you started. Happy to do that. Another question from Archek from before. Is it currently possible to create an unrestricted standalone game? If not, what are the restrictions? The restrictions at the moment are temporary. We want to make sure that the games that are saved out don't have any bugs in, and they are optimized and performant, so the game's players can enjoy the games without having to worry about finding bugs for us. Once we get past that phase, we will remove the restriction. At the moment, we don't have a date on that, but that's always been our intention. Another question, will we be getting the NPC voice acting lip sync in an update soon? You already have lip syncing in the current version, so you just have to record your voice and let it process that into a WAV file and a lip sync file, and then when you run your game, you can go up to character and you can hear your voice or your voice acting. You can even provide a WAV and it will actually produce a the mouth will move based on lip sync generation. So that's already in. If you've got anything more specific on the RPG side, please let us know, and we'll go into more details on that. But basic lip syncing is already in there. Here's a question outside of the previous questions answered. What is the time frame for release of RPG elements such as inventory, save, standalone, persistence? Thanks for a promising base launch. You're very, very welcome. RPG is currently on our roadmap. We're going to be looking to release that and other RPG style elements. No fixed date at the moment. We'll let you know once we have something more concrete. Question. Approximately when will you start working on other genres of gameplay? I don't mean exact time, but more of after what you've done polishing good enough. The plan is to continue working on bugs, performance, optimization, improvements. These are the things that since release, our community have been overwhelmingly hinting that that's really where we should be spending our time, and that's what we are doing. But immediately after that, yes, we are working on the RPG and the puzzle, and those genres have cross-collateralization, so you can have a mechanic from one genre and use it in another, and then create a lot of different game styles that way. Now, a lot of questions coming in, and I'm losing my place because it's scrolling off the top, so I'm just going to scroll up just to help myself out a little bit. Thank you very much. Okay. I think I've grabbed one. At the moment, there is like weird delays when the AI has to relocate the player. Will the AI be improved at some point in the future? AI will continue to be improved all the time, and we are working on other things as well. Without giving too much away, we are going to open up a little so other people can help us with the AI. There's no point just having a black box AI system. It needs to be something that can be adapted, tailored, tweaked for your own purposes. So we are continuing to work on AI in ways that I think will fit very nicely with what you want in the future for your game project ideas. Question: any updates regarding upgraded weather, night and day, water upgrade, underwater effects, better control of shaders, and get water direction for rivers? Yeah, a good chunk of those is water related, and we have that on our roadmap. At the top of that list, of course, is swimming, so you can swim about in the water and improve the water effects themselves. And I suppose by extension, as it's environmental, looking at the weather in the day and night. All of these things are on our list, but we don't have any specific dates to give you right now. Another question: how is RPG element going? Will you be adding the wind zone as a portal between levels instead of going to the start market? Yeah, if you actually go into the wind zone and go into the drop down, you'll actually see you can send the player to any level. It doesn't have to be level 2, level 3, level 4. You can go into wind zone and send them back to level 1 if you wanted to. So go check the wind zone, the game element. It lets you do that. Question: what's the limit of video quality in story zones? Does HD create any problems, long load times, and what are the supported formats? The supported formats are MP4 and OGG Vorbis, video OGG Vorbis, and its mileage may vary. If you have a 1 gigabyte video, then you're going to have to transport that 1 gigabyte video around as you share it with people, and it's going to take a while to stream that video in and watch it all the way through in super high HD. It really is a case of mileage may vary. You've got to find a resolution that suits the purposes of your game without bloating it out with huge media files. Hopefully that advice helps in some small way. Another question: Max doesn't work on my Acer 17 Nitro. I think my graphics card is the NVIDIA 850, maybe. Yeah, it's worth checking the minimum specifications of a GameGuru MAX now we've released. It's a GTX 970, but the best way to find out how your card compares is to go onto Passmark. So just type out GTX 970 Passmark and you'll see a score. Then type out NVIDIA GeForce 850 Passmark and you'll get your score. If that number is lower than the GTX 970, then you're not meeting our minimum specifications. And that might be the cause of some of your performance issues. The good news is we are continuing to work on performance, so it could very well be we lower our minimum spec in the future as our optimizations improve the engine overall. Here's another question: can we access the behavior editor when not in the test play mode, aka in the level editor? Not at the moment. You can only do it through test game. But you're right, you really want to be able to craft your behaviors, edit your logic, tweak your behavior properties, all in the level editor without having to go all the way into test game to play them. The reason it started there first is it's super useful to attach a behavior to an object or a character and run your game, but then see your behavior running live. If you ever went to the behavior editor, it actually highlights what instruction it's on at the time, and you can see it flow through the logic as circumstances change in the game. And so it was so useful to have that it started live in the test level section. But yeah, it will eventually end up in the level editor where maybe you just want to create your logic and you're not too concerned about seeing it run live. Okay, any more questions? In fact, quite a lot of questions it looks like. Can you force the player to complete objectives in a specific order without scripting? Sure. If you check out a demo game called Disruption, it's on the hub. That actually has this mission where you have to switch 3 watchtowers. You got to switch 3 towers, and once the third tower has been switched, then that completes the game. And there is actually an existing behavior you can use to control that logic without any scripting whatsoever. So check that out. Just That'll just get you started. But it's a great question, and I think we'll expand things like that so you can have more intricate objectives for your games to move from level to level. Question, I think I've already asked that one. Yeah, the one below it. How can I import Gigi Classic assets into Max? Actually putting them in the user folder, but they show up as blank boxes. As I said before, it's not 100% forward compatible, but you've got the idea. You grab a lot of, they used to be called entity files, so maybe grab a folder of that and drop it into your writables area entity bank / user and drop them in there. Leave the software, re-enter GameGuru MAX, and you'll actually see that user folder light up with the subfolder that you've just copied in. And you should be able to see all, providing there's an FPE file with some supporting objects and textures, you should be able to see them in the object library, select them, and from that moment your mileage may vary. It depends how close they are to max compatibility. So you're on the right lines, and that's generally what you have to do to get your classic assets into Max right now. Okay, next question. I think this was, it's got an orangey GameGuru. I don't know if it's an earlier question or whether it's a new one come late, but here we go. Will there be improvements to the AI? At the moment, there are strange delays where the enemy calculates where the player is. Sounds reminiscent of an earlier question, does it not? Yes, we will continue to be improving the AI. There's a long way to go. I think we all agree that. But it's not just about sticking it all in a black box and making sure that it's the ultimate AI. We kind of want to give you a system that lets you choose the AI you want for your particular game level. I think that's much more important than some Uber AI that seems to just take care of everyone's problems no matter what it is. Question from Joe, can you still import Blender models into GameGuru MAX? We never really officially supported the .blender format. Currently the model importer supports .fbx, .gltf and .obj, and the legacy format .x in some small degree. But those are the official formats we support right now because we've done lots of testing on them. We do like the idea of supporting .blender, but I think that's going to be a little bit further down the way. But don't quote me on that. Here's a question from Wizard. Have a possibility to create another game of zombies? We have zombies. If you want to make a game with zombies in it, we've got lots of zombies. And we have a character creator, so you can create your own variation of zombie. So definitely check that out if you want to make a game with zombies in it. Question, I have found that at times shooting AI zombies, bullets were not registering. Is that collision of rocks or items in between stopping the registering or a bug to be ironed out? Best thing you can do is go to the issues board and post us an issue with as much information as you think we need. When we reproduce it, then we have a chance of fixing the bug, putting it in an update and sending it out, and then you can try it out again. It could very well be that you found a bug there, so if you could report it, that would be great. Question, where did the object pickup physical carrot script go? Will it make a return or perhaps be improved and then returned? Question. Thank you very much for that, Zorgo. It's in there. There is a behavior script, a behavior choice. So let's say you have like a loaf of bread. You drop it into your level. Select that. Go to the object properties behavior. Select that big behavior icon. And if you look in the objects subfolder, you'll actually see one of the behaviors which allows you to pick up and move that around. So I think we changed the name. That's probably what confuses everybody. But we changed the name, but it's in there. If it ain't, it's a bug. Please do report it as an issue on our issues board. Here is a question. I plan to create a mini-series about GameGuru MAX for beginners like myself. I like a living live stream. Cool. Is there a way to get support for this to push GameGuru MAX? We will help in any way we can. We like this idea. We are focusing on the same kind of thing, but official videos. built-in tutorials that will emerge inside GameGuru MAX, but we very much support people creating their own live streams and YouTube channels and showing their own experiences. Why? Because it's like there's something we could never do. We're too close to the software. Seeing what our community do with the software, that's very enlightening. Why? Because it means we can improve the software if we see people struggling at that beginner level. And it also means that fellow beginners can look at those YouTube channels and that content and have a better grasp of how other people have started and how they can progress to learn. So thanks very much for that, and if we can help, we will. Another question: will you be able to import models from Blender? See Lee's previous answer. And the last question so far: if I import third-party models, and there's a little arrow, something, I make them behave as enemy AI. Right now, it's probably a good idea that you use the character creator because they're already rigged, animated, the correct scale, the correct physics, and they already have behaviors that are all that to be controlled in order to create characters that are neutrals, allies, or enemies. That's not to say that you can't import your own characters and have all the same features, but you've got a lot more work to do. You've got to animate all the things like idle and walking and running and shooting, and you have to correctly name them if you're going to use our behaviors, or you're going to have to create your own behaviors if you have different animation names. So I think that gets into the realms of what I would call technical artists. So please do post that, say, in the issues board or the GameGuru forums, and we'll be very happy to provide more details to help you along. We're definitely interested in seeing third-party characters come into GameGuru MAX, not just being created by the character creator that's already built in to the software. And I think that's all the questions. Is it all the questions? I'm just going to scroll down. No, Lee. Remember, you move that scroll bar. I will never get through all these questions. I should say we'll never get through all these questions. Or maybe I did. Maybe I've just moved the scroll bar too little too much. Okay, let's see what we got. I'm going to have to go all the way up to some early question that we answered. Okay, how far back do I have to go, people? Okay, I answered that one. We answered that one. Yeah, we answered that one. I think this is where we're up to. Monkey Frog Studio. Great, thank you. To continue, Wolf, will it be possible from the beginning to create something different than FPS, like a survival with hunger and thirst? Watch out for RPG and puzzle. That's the very idea of those two additional genres. We just started with shooter, as we're quite familiar with that game genre. But when we introduce RPG, you will have things like inventory and crafting and all the stuff you associate with those types of genre. Will there be an option to create text dialogue systems like in Fallout? Also part of the RPG idea. The idea that instead of just walking up to a character and the character says one thing, you could walk up to a character and have a full dialogue tree going on where you have to ask and answer and converse quite a lot before you get to those kernels of information that lets you progress within the level. Another question: what is the progress, please, of multiplayer? It's certainly on our map, and we have a lot of technology on the multiplayer so far, but it's not top priority. As I've already mentioned, we are looking at optimization and improvements right now, and most likely followed by RPG and puzzle and other things of that ilk. But we'll happily let you know well in advance what's coming next. But we have plenty on our plate, so yeah, if you are looking for multiplayer next week, please don't hold your breath. Next question: will there be more terrain types such as beach or city? You already have beach. If you select, let me think, if you select rainforest, I think that biome has sand running down to nice blue water. I think it might be nice brown water. Anyway, check out the Island Showdown. That has a really nice beach setup. So that's a good place to start if you're looking to figure out how to configure your terrain. So you've got beach. City, that's a better suggestion. We don't really have any biomes which are set purely in a city. They've all been very much different kinds of outdoor terrain. And yes, city, you can go outdoor, but you know what I mean. City is like pavement, concrete, tarmac, large buildings left, right, front and behind you. Are there any plans for that? Absolutely. Nothing on our roadmap in the super short term. But watch this space, because we are interested in creating scenes like that as well. Is weather cycle possible in GG Max? Not cycle. You can have no weather, rain and snow at different intensities. We do intend to improve those, absolutely. And as I've already mentioned, day-night cycle is also on our roadmap. So please wait and check out our news feeds, and hopefully we'll be able to give you more news on that in the future. Now I'm just checking the clock. It's now 31 minutes into the broadcast. I think we did the demo for 10 and we've done 21 minutes of questions. I think I'll pick 2 more questions, and then I'm afraid I'm going to have to call this broadcast over. Otherwise Lee will just keep rambling for the next 2 hours, and nobody wants that. So who gets the next 2 questions? This is from Ride with Red. Does CineGuru work with GameGuru MAX? CineGuru is a third-party development. It's not an official one. We didn't really have a lot to do with it. So I'm afraid you're going to have to ask the authors of CineGuru whether they have any plans to support that excellent technology in GameGuru MAX. I personally would like to see it, but officially we don't have anything to say. You'll have to talk to the authors. Only they will know the answer to that question. And the last one, will player status inventory eventually carry into next level? Yes. That's, you could argue that's borderline bug. If you've selected a weapon on level 1 and you suddenly find you don't have that weapon on level 2, that's a bug. But for the RPG genre that we'll be working on, you'll need to carry pretty much everything. Your entire stats, your skill trees, the things you've collected, the knowledge you've gained, all of that will be carried around with you from the moment you start your brand new game, through all of the levels of that game, all the way to when you win the game. So look out for that in intricate detail when we work on the RPG genre. So thanks for all your questions. I'm sorry I couldn't get to all of them, because I think you can understand it would take literally forever as new questions come in. And just want to let you know that next week's broadcast will be pre-recorded. So have a week off. And I'll be back in 2 weeks' time to bore you live with many more interesting waffles and a lot more interesting demo projects from our excellent community. And I look forward to showcasing those 2 weeks from now. So thanks very much for your attention. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. And I'll speak to you all in 2 weeks' time. So until then, goodbye.